So I have here the Bon Appetit, the Thanksgiving issue. I received this issue about a month ago, but I was thinking that since Thanksgiving is coming up in the US, that it might be a good opportunity to go through it and see if there are any recipes that might be useful or of interest. And I was just looking at the cover. It says, "Your cooking problems solved." There's a woman who is very clearly overwhelmed, the glass of wine. There appear to be many empty bottles of wine and some eggs, some in the carton, some that are broken. I'm guessing this is some kind of maybe mashed potatoes. Can't really tell what this is. I'm gonna guess it's maybe mac and cheese. Obviously, we've got the turkey as the centerpiece for the dinner. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe a cheese grater or a sack of flour. Actually, I see the FLOUR. I see a number of vegetables here. I don't know what this is, but looks like more veggies. Another salad. Maybe cranberries. This could be a dessert here. I don't know if you can see here. There's looks like cranberries. So, Thanksgiving can be a lot of fun, but if you're hosting or cooking, I imagine it's also very stressful. I've never cooked a full Thanksgiving meal myself, just a few dishes, so I can't even really imagine, to be honest. So yeah, let's get into it. And this looks like it's a wine ad. I'm guessing this is maybe Italy or somewhere in Europe. Oh, actually, it's not. It's not a wine ad. It's an ad for cruises. Well, that was my mistake. Okay. So here it's on this page. Maybe I'll do this. It says, "Help, Thanksgiving is wonderful, delicious, and stressful." We've got 26 recipes to address all your holiday woes. And here are some green beans with, I think, maybe hazelnuts. So it looks like the 26 recipes start on page 36. It's an ad for McCormick, all of the spices. Until now, your only job on Thanksgiving was eating all the sides. It's gonna be great. So I guess this is an ad for their spices and implying that there's some first-time cooks. Okay, here's the wine ad. This is for a Pinot Noir and a Pinot Gris. And we've got some more recipes here. This is, I'm not sure what this is. Looks like a bread pudding of some kind. Says a vegetarian main that might overshadow the turkey. So I definitely see bread and cheese and maybe kale or spinach or some kind of green. It says cook with us on YouTube and then you can scan. So yeah, they're really trying to help people out here. The editor's letter, the most wonderful anxiety-producing meal of the year. So this magazine's really leaning into Thanksgiving as being potentially quite stressful. And here we've got, looks like it's this beautiful ceramic container with gravy. It's all gravy going on mashed potatoes. And here we have another wine ad from Sonoma with Love. So Sonoma Valley, California wine. Here we have a family meal. So this is a sheet pan dinner that's low fuss, that won't cause a pile up in the sink. So looks like there's maybe some chicken thighs here and green beans and red cabbage. So pretty healthy. A one sheet pan dinner. Can't go wrong with that. We have a cheese ad. I love cheese. Here we have a sesame chicken and cabbage salad with chicken thighs, cabbage, green beans, looks like soy sauce, rice vinegar, sesame oil, sriracha, garlic, scallions, cilantro, and dry roasted peanuts. So I guess this is the dinner from the sheet pan. This looks really good, actually. I bet you just have to chop everything up after you cook it. Surprised this made it into the Thanksgiving edition, but I guess this is like a nice, easy meal as you're leading up to Thanksgiving. We have another family meal here. Soy dressed gnocchi and mushrooms with, looks like carrots, more scallions, onion, gnocchi of course, lots of gnocchi, mushrooms, more soy sauce, rice vinegar. Starting to see a bit of a trend, and I like that. See, it doesn't say how long it would take, but I can imagine, again, looks like it's something you can put on one pan and then make the gnocchi and throw it all together, which is always helpful. And another family meal, spiced salmon with potatoes and corn. I've definitely made some one-pan meals, but I've never done it with salmon, potatoes, and corn on the same pan. Never really thought to do it that way, but I can imagine it's pretty simple. Looks like you put a rack in the middle of the oven, preheat to 400 degrees, mix all of the seasoning. This one's a bit different with Old Bay seasoning and butter, garlic powder, onion powder, and then, okay, it makes sense that you're cooking, looks like you cook the potatoes first, then the corn, and then the salmon, so it's not all cooking at the same time. I bet you could really, really easily overcook the salmon. This looks really good. And I think this might be the last family meal. So this is meatballs with burst tomatoes, juicy burst tomatoes, red onion, and roasted red pepper come together to make a chunky, saucy side for herb-studded meatballs. Okay. This seems like, at least for me, kind of a lot of work for a family meal, but I think the main source of, or the time-consuming piece would be making the individual meatballs. But it looks fairly simple. This also looks good. I feel like I'd want this with a pasta. They've got bread here, like a garlic bread, I think. But yeah, I'd probably choose a pasta. And this is an article about whiskey, different types of whiskey. I don't know much about whiskey. It's probably not my drink of choice, but I know a lot of people who really appreciate it. And there's an article that's not really about food, it's about design in a restaurant. So looking at, I see some really beautiful wallpaper, these flowers and vines. Has like kind of a new and modern look, but also some kind of a like older look. This is interesting. It looks like this restaurant has boozy boba. So bourbon, rum, and boba. I've never had alcoholic boba, but definitely would try it. Yeah, I think the light fixtures and the wallpaper here is really intriguing. I would really be interested to go to this restaurant just for the architecture and the interior design, but definitely the boozy boba. Waffle Saturdays. These are a glorious stack of crispy, chewy, crisp mochi waffles. I actually have the flour to make mochi, the sweet rice flour, so I'm really tempted to try this, but I don't have a waffle maker, so I kind of wonder if I'd be able to use the batter for pancakes and turn the mochi waffles with maple brown butter bananas into pancakes with maple brown butter bananas. I am sure there's mochi pancake recipes out there. I'll have to give it a try. This is not food, but this is a kitchen upgrade called Island Hopping. This is a beautiful kitchen. I think for me, being on the shorter side, I probably wouldn't really want my pots and pans to be hung up this high, but it's interesting, very interesting look. Probably not for me, but yeah. I think these designs over here with this tile, this very open kitchen, the lights hanging down and lots of natural light, and a big table, or big, I guess like a platform or area to actually cook and chop and mix things is really important. This looks like an ad for another cruise. And now we have questionable etiquette. And it looks like it's all about animals, so dogs and cats. There's some questions like, can I bring my dog inside a restaurant, or is that a no-no? Looks like there's some questions about letting your cat or dog lick the plates, feeding dogs in restaurants, meal prep, or even, this person's asking if it's okay to taste canned dog food. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, do any of you who have cats or dogs, let them lick your plates? I remember, have to admit, I tasted my cat's food when I was really little and was really disappointed by the flavor or lack thereof, because they don't really have salt in their food. Here we go. Enough of that. This one sheet, Condensed Guide to the Nutty World of Pistachios. I like pistachios, probably not a huge fan, which is probably for the best since they're quite expensive. Okay, I think this is getting into the actual Thanksgiving recipes. So we've got help. Thanksgiving is wonderful, delicious, and stressful. Don't get us wrong, we love Thanksgiving. It says, this holiday can be challenging, which is why we're here to hold your hand through the whole thing, with recipes specifically to address your Thanksgiving woes. So, let's take a look. It looks like they're focusing also on pie dough and, of course, the turkey. Okay, of course we have the timeless icon of in a garden. How can I make hosting easier on myself? Just ask the queen of effortless entertaining in a garden. I used to watch her cooking show on the Food Network with my mom. So let's see, what are their steps? Or what are Ina's steps? So number 1, you can see, is plan your menu wisely. It's not about showing off, she says. Prioritizing simplicity is key to pulling off any size of dinner party. Yeah, I make a menu of things that I really want to make and serve, and then I go through it carefully and ask, will my friends have more fun if I make this thing and drive myself crazy? The answer, of course, is no. Your friends will have more fun if you're happy and having a good time with them. I think that's a really, really astute point, that it's not just about the food. All right. Point number 2, yes, you can please everyone. So you've got your guests who are vegan, gluten-free, keto. So In a Garden says, it just pushes you to find creative ways to make everyone happy. What I never do is make something specific for one person. I think that's really wise. All right. Third tip is give yourself a pass on the apps. I just like to make one thing and then buy the rest. If you're not careful, making appetizers can take as much time as making dinner. And then they've got this recipe for chipotle cheddar crackers. Wow. So you've got cheese, flour, chipotle powder, salt, and a stick of butter. This looks amazing. It's a lot of butter. And step 4 is keep drinks flexible. Most cocktail recipes are for one drink, which drives me crazy. That's In a Garden. I always choose drinks that you can make in a pitcher and set on the bar so everyone can help themselves. She also likes to serve a non-alcoholic, like a pomegranate spritzer, that can be enjoyed as is or with the addition of booze. So this pomegranate spritzer has sparkling water, pomegranate juice, lime juice, and fresh pomegranate seeds and lime slices for serving. That looks amazing. Especially, honestly, I'd be happy to have that without alcohol. So we've got make a serious game plan. This is related to shopping, setting the table, writing down everything. Okay. Number 6, help is always welcome. Not a bad idea. Yeah. Don't want to get so overwhelmed that you can't enjoy your own dinner. 7 is buffet or bust. She likes people seated close together, and that way people can just choose what they want to eat or don't want to eat. And number 8, set the table with care, but not too much care. There's a fine line between a well-set table and a stuffy, formal one. Of course, In a Garden likes to err on the side of simple elegance. I think that's a beautiful phrase, simple elegance. Sometimes less is more. All right, we're getting into our appetizers. My guests like to graze. All right, here we've got, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, boquerones with green olives and orange. Oh, it looks like maybe anchovies. Interesting. I can imagine that is not necessarily for everybody. We've got here za'atar firecrackers and Old Bay chips with lemon mayo. This all looks so good. Here we have marinated mozzarella and peppadew peppers. This looks pretty simple. And rosemary sizzled salami, dates, and pecans. So you've got sweet and savory, and then some crunch with the pecans, and then the rosemary gives it, I think, probably a little bit more of that simple elegance. How do I level up my boring old mashed potato game? I mean, I'm personally fine with just regular mashed potatoes, but this is very visually interesting. This looks like it's creamy mashed potatoes with crispy potato skins. Let's see. We've got potatoes, of course, garlic, salt, olive oil, unsalted butter, heavy cream, and ground pepper. So it looks like you fry up the potato skins, cut them into slices, and then fry them up and serve them on top of the mashed potatoes. I can imagine that's an interesting texture. Definitely a lot more work, but you know, if you have the time and want to do something a little different, why not? All right, for our vegetarian friends, it says, I'm vegetarian. How about a celebration-worthy feast that doesn't revolve around meat? I think that's a really good point. Turkey or ham or some kind of large platter of meat is usually the focus, but I mean, honestly, people are also there for the sides. So it looks like we've got green beans, some kind of a dip, this bread pudding, savory bread pudding dish, maybe some potatoes. I imagine this is vegetarian but not vegan. Doesn't look vegan from these photos. We've got a salad, apple salad with mustardy croutons. I can get on board with that. So at the top, they've got charred green beans with a brown butter vinaigrette. Sounds amazing. This one is a sweet potato and onion tempura with chive mayo. This looks like it would be a lot of work to cut and fry, but I imagine it's delicious. And this one that I've been calling a bread pudding is a pumpkin and cheddar strata. I would not have guessed that there's pumpkin in here. Sounds amazing. And I skipped over the Brussels sprouts with maple soy caramel. Maple soy caramel. That's an interesting combo. Again, there's a lot of sweet and savory, which I like. And I've got the recipes. All right. This says, oven overload. What should I cook on Wednesday to save time and space on Thursday? So this looks like a stuffing you can make ahead. Sausage and caramelized onion stuffing. This looks really good. We have a stuffing recipe that we've been making for a while in my family that looks like it has about the same ingredients, but we kind of crumble up things a little smaller. But this looks really good. It reminds me of, how my mom makes our stuffing. Ooh, here we go. I'll just say it. I hate roast turkey. Can't we have something else? So I'm personally not a huge fan of turkey. Probably not my favorite meat. So I like ham, I like chicken. I've made ribs in the past. Here we've got a pomegranate and honey glazed duck with rice. I was actually talking to someone about the possibility of making duck, but I've looked and I actually can't find duck. So I probably will stick with ribs, actually. I was invited to a vegan Friendsgiving, so I'll be probably making meat for myself and eating a vegan Thanksgiving elsewhere. But yeah, I really would have wanted to try something like this, but yeah, just can't find duck. Ooh, we've got a fried chicken with cranberry mustard sauce. So I'm guessing this is the cranberry mustard sauce here. And this is the fried chicken. This is like a slightly different twist on the main dish. Here we have at the top chili vinegar marinated Cornish hens. It's also unusual for Thanksgiving. And then I've been seeing a lot of turkey pot pie recipes on social media, mostly Instagram. It looks like Bon Appetit has their own here. I can imagine this would be really good for leftovers, to take leftover turkey meat and maybe pie crust and vegetables and cream and make it into a pot pie. Here we have all of the recipes. Okay, and now we're getting into the turkey. It says, my family will flip if I don't serve a turkey. How do I make a bird that satisfies everyone? I mean, this turkey looks amazing. Okay. It's a maple butter glazed turkey. Wow, it sounds so good. So it's really step-by-step instructions on how to cut it and put it in the oven. Now we've got an article about gravy. How do you punch it up? So how do you take turkey drippings and turn it into a gravy? It looks like they're saying you should add white wine and lots of butter. Cornbread or biscuits? Cornbread cheddar biscuits. Wow. So this is like a happy medium, combining the two, really. Cheddar cheese, cornmeal, sage. Oh my gosh, 2 sticks of butter, corn, buttermilk. Wow. Oh, now we're getting into dessert. Obviously, this is really important. All right, we've got a hazel butternut cup tart, a triple citrus creamsicle pie, and a salted coffee custard pie. What should I do? Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I wouldn't even know which one to make. I want them all. Probably the coffee pie is my least favorite concept, but I would not say no to that. Here we have a easy fancy pear galette. Does not look easy to me, but what do I know? There's more pies here. Cinnamon crunch crinkle pie. The salted coffee custard pie here. Kind of wonder if this is all whipped cream or if it's something else. Here, this is cinnamon crunch crinkle pie. I guess this is all like phyllo dough with powdered sugar and cinnamon. It looks really good, but it looks like a lot of work, but hard to say. And now they've got, Bon Appetit has a section on crust, pie crust. I've tried making pie crust from scratch, and it's turned out quite well, actually. I think I've always never really realized how much butter went into crust, but a lot. It's definitely a lot. This pie looks amazing. It's a Dutch apple pie. And Bon Appetit is telling us that we need a pastry brush, metal pie pan, bench scraper, rolling pin, and then is giving us the dough recipe. So yeah, you see it's a lot of butter. and flour, ice cold water. Yum. It's not an insignificant amount of work, but at least, yeah, you can do it ahead of time. And then looks like you have to, oh, it's got more steps about folding to get flakes, letting the pie dough rest, rolling it, and then adding flair so you can crimp the edges of the pie crust with a spoon or with scissors. Wow. It is not an insignificant thing to do, but I imagine it adds a nice touch. And looks like we're at the end. We have the recipe index here and an interview with an actor on their dream dinner party. John Leguizamo. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but I'm not familiar with him. And next month, Bon Appetit has another magazine on how to holiday. So it's about gifting and hosting a party and desserts. And that's it. So, well, thank you for staying with me while we go through this magazine. I hope you've gotten some inspiration for your Thanksgiving. And I hope you all have a really wonderful, delicious Thanksgiving.